seeing him try to pick up women. Any step in the process, really, with JR would just be, wow. To be his wingman for a night.
Right, and I don't know JR personally, but just from the little bit that he seems to open up a lot and be pretty transparent.
He probably does.
I can't see him. Well, I can't see him just like flashing his money to get women.
No,
it doesn't. I mean, just from the way he seems, the way he talks, I don't see that.
Negotiates.
Oh, I'm sure he negotiates. Oh, I'm sure he negotiates. He lowballs at first. See, I don't think he busts out the big check. I think he buys a Moscow Mule for her. He doesn't buy top shelf. He just buys a Moscow Mule, sends it over her way, gets to talking to her, Then he gets his car from valet. Oh, it's a nice the house. Oh, okay, I'm sleeping with him.
You know the Oklahoma Rally song? That's like one of the top criteria.
I bet he plays that too.
Has him dance to it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge to the future.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
What a sooner. What a sooner, baby. I can't even think of a good sexual innuendo for sooner. That's how pathetic that team is. That a sexual innuendo? I don't think you do.
Well, women usually say harder, faster. They don't say sooner.
Right? I mean, like Alabama, they got Roll Tide. Roll Tide speaks.
Yeah.
Woman walks by with a badass in a skin tight dress on. You're like, that's Roll Tide. You know what Roll Tide. I don't know what sooner. I don't know.
That's a sound I made.
Something that's going to be coming sooner than later, Paystee, is another new show. We've been talking about a lot of new shows in this devastated pro wrestling era. What's up with that, as the Hurricane would say?
I don't know. We're not talking about Money in the Bank?
I skipped. Sorry, I'm fiddling with my mouse and I fiddled down the wrong way. So I don't want to talk about Money in the Bank, but we're kind of. Oh.
Well, we don't have to talk about it much because I didn't much pay attention. So.
Well, I'll start us off with something nobody paid attention to. We had a pre-show, Jeff Hardy, Cesaro. Jeff Hardy won. They gave him 13 minutes, 30 seconds, so I guess we're only having one pre-show. That's good. I'd watch a 13.5-minute Jeff Hardy Cesaro. Maybe not in WWE, but
I'd watch it on the main card. Once again, it just makes me sad. They're pushing a assorted pill junkie over a very promising talent that they should be working more prominently with. But,
right?
That's WWE for you.
That's the E, baby.
I did not watch the pre-show. I barely watched the main show. So we'll get right into that. As match number 1 was a 4-way tag team match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, seeing New Day retaining their gold against the Forgotten Sons, Miz and Morrison, and Lucha House Party.
Yeah, that seems like it was
I had high hopes for the Forgotten Sons, and then, I don't know, every time this match started to get going, they slowed it back down, and it was stupid.
Yeah.
It was stupid.
Like I said last week, I forgot about them. Literally. So. And full
You're
disclosure,
not the only one.
Full disclosure to everybody listening, the only match I watched was the dual Money in the Bank match. But I legitimately watched it, paid attention to it. I planned on taking notes, but I soon found out you could not take notes on that match. So none of this that we're discussing I watched any of until we get to the dual Money in the Bank ladder match, including the 1 minute and 40-second Bobby Lashley match where I'm assuming Bobby Lashley squashes shit out of R-Truth, which he should, but also at this stage in the game, Bobby Lashley should be doing more than 1 minute, 2 minute squash matches.
Yeah.
On a
well, originally he wasn't even supposed to be facing Lashley. He was facing somebody else, and then Lashley came out and took over, I guess. I don't know. It was stupid.
No, they didn't even have him listed when we were doing predictions, so That's good old Vince. He just, changes shit whenever he damn well pleases.
Yep. Then we had the SmackDown Women's Championship, seeing Bayley retaining her gold against Tamina. That's what everybody guessed, I'm assuming. And that's what happened. And I'm pretty sure it was because of Banks again.
I'm sure. I will say I am kind of surprised and pleased that for this being a shorter pay-per-view, other than the squash match we just talked about, all the matches are over 10 minutes long. That's good. They could have easily thrown together,
you waste
10,
a lot
11.
Less time on entrances when you're not pandering to a crowd.
That is true. Well, some of them are still fucking pandering to the crowd, and it makes no sense. I guess I don't know on this, so I can't say for sure on this one, but I know in the past I've been watching wrestling ones where they pander to the crowd going in. I've seen them, in tag matches start pounding, the one on the side start stomping the ring to get the crowd's attention. And it's like, what are you doing? You've got to improvise. I know you were trained to do this shit, but there's nobody there. You can't do this. But I digress. Universal Championship match. Braun Strowman defeated Bray Wyatt.
This was just Bray Wyatt begging Braun to come back and join his family. And I'm like, Bray, you have a great thing with the Fiend. Why are you trying to go back to that shit?
Yeah, he doesn't even have a family anymore.
And then Strowman put the black sheep mask on, and Bray's like, oh, you're back. And then Braun took the black sheep mask off, and guess what he did? Stepped on it, and then he power slammed Wyatt once, and the match was over. That was worth watching. No, it wasn't.
I know you had high hopes for Bray Wyatt on this one, but I hate to say I told you so, that they weren't going to do shit with him.
Well, it wasn't the Fiend, and that's where I'm like, well,
that was my point.
Shitty old Bray can lose a shitty old Bray match. That's fine. We'll see. I'm assuming the Fiend's up next. You know what I mean? Where I get on that, and I guess it's kind of cool that there's a semi-unique character like this. Obviously, it's retreading the Balor and the Demon, which I don't think he does anymore, or maybe he does. I don't know. I don't think he has. No.
Why can't just Bray be good, or why can't he just be the Fiend? Like, why does he have to have? Oh, I'm going to come out now and be shitty and lose, and everybody knows it, and then I'm going to come out now and be good and win, and everybody knows it. Like, why can't we just have one character that's either good or shitty?
Yeah.
Is that too much to ask?
Yeah, I don't know, because, Bray got to lay the groundwork for all this, but this booking now definitely has nothing to do with Bray's...
Oh, yeah, he didn't choose this shit.
Yeah. And that's where it hurts me. Like, if you're going to let him make his character, let him write his story, he's not going to always write himself to be the winner. He's a smart man. He knows how to lose, and he probably knows how to lose better than you know how to make him lose. So, I don't know.
Or just have better agents in general. I don't want Bray in charge of his booking. I personally don't. History has shown us 100% of the times that a wrestler's in charge of their booking, it fucks things over. But just have better agents that know how to have a match that makes him look strong. He can still lose. I mean, you just need better agents.
Yeah. Well, don't make up the match the day of and be like, okay, go do this. Give him a couple of days to kind of come together with how he wants his world to take the event.
Yeah, give him time for him, Strowman, and the agent to work over a match.
Yeah.
As you're supposed to do, which has been done historically for eons. Since the days of the Carney Paystee.
Foreshadowing at its finest.
Oh, no.
Then we had the WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre retaining his gold. Seems to be the way the cookie crumbles on this event. Against Seth Rollins.
Heard great things about this match.
Did not watch this match. I know at the end, Drew McIntyre said, you are the man, but I won tonight, and shook Seth Rollins' hand.
I like when they do that.
Yeah.
I do. I hate to sound pansy, but I do. And I'll probably go back and watch this match, but I'm not going to lie. It's not going to be this month or next month.
Yeah. You got to wait till it's a classic on the network, right?
Well, it's just...
It's 10 years down the road.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe when all this stuff is over and you go back and watch one match where there's nobody in the audience, you can stomach that a little more. It's a little different. That brings us to, and for results reasons, Paystee, we're going to split this up into 2 results, but it's technically 1 match.
Yeah.
We had the corporate Money in the Bank ladder match. We're going to start with the women's just because the women's ended first. We had Asuka winning the Money in the Bank briefcase over Carmella, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, Nia Jax, and Shayna Baszler. And I think, Paystee, let's just go over the results, both results, and then let's go over our
recap. Then we'll talk
about
the shit, yeah.
Sure.
So for the men's, Otis defeated AJ Styles, Aleister Black, Daniel Bryan, King Corbin, and Rey Mysterio. So this was not as good as I was hoping, but had some pretty fucking funny spots.
It had highs and lows. I agree. You want to start out? I kind of got a few things listed. I just kind of have bullet points because, like
order?
I said,
if you have them in order, you lay it out and I'll talk about it.
Okay, I do have it in order.
Okay.
First thing I have something about a bitch about the men's opening and a bitch about the women's opening. So first of all, first thing I had to write at all is I don't know what Otis's character is. Apparently, he's different than when he was Heavy Machinery. He comes out and he dry humps the equipment in the weight room. And just a little spoiler alert, later on, he hulks up when he eats a sandwich. And I ended this with, this is who they're pushing? I didn't get the humping the weight equipment. I didn't get his whole character in general. Give your kind of explanation, Paystee, because it kind of made sense when you said it to me. I think they're going the wrong direction, but I hear what you're saying.
He's a comedy character. Yeah, he's strong and shit, but he can't move well, so you can't really do a lot with him in a long-term thing. But as a character, he is probably one of the funniest guys in WWE, and the way I view him is he's Jesus Christ. Kind of a cross between Chris Farley and Larry the Cable Guy.
The problem I have with that reasoning is, has WWE had a big guy that they've pushed that hasn't been a comedy character? Like in recent and modern history.
Brock Lesnar?
Not a one.
No, he danced.
No, he's
Money
not.
In the Bank
Well,
briefcase.
but he's not a big guy. He's a bodybuilder, but I don't consider him a giant, like either girth wise or height wise.
Right. Brodus Clay.
They
did okay with for a minute, but then he became a joke.
Braun Strowman, they were doing comedy shit with him.
Yeah.
Big Show, they always do comedy shit with him. The Great Khali, they did comedy shit with him.
A lot of those guys that we've listed, though, are people who can't carry that. Otis can carry it.
Big Show did it good.
The more you watch Otis, I think the more you'll see. He carries this character very well. And
maybe it's a different generation too, and I don't want just the two big behemoths. It's boring, but I also don't mind having a giant powerhouse that just tramples over everything, and when he gets beat, it's like just a huge, like, oh wow, he really got beat, or like, I don't know, I like that. We had that way back in the day. We had the Yokozunas, we had the Earthquakes, we had guys like the King Kong Bundys that were.
Well, I guess you could say Samoa Joe hasn't been in a real comedy angle.
I guess I also again
right either.
Yeah, but I guess I don't consider him a big guy. I mean, he's overweight, but I don't think he doesn't. If he tips 300 maybe. I don't think he's at 350 by no means. I don't know, and maybe that's just me picking and choosing who I want. I don't know. The next opening that I have a bitch with, and I don't why they started out with two big flaws right off the bat. Asuka, on the women's side, Asuka began a full story advantage over the other women. She was a whole floor ahead of them. But instead of going up to get the Money in the Bank thing, she jumped down onto them. Now that just makes her look dumb as shit.
Right.
The fuck was that about? Obviously, she ended up winning it, but still, that's not the point. That was dumb.
That's pretty much why she won it. The women's match was over after that.
Yeah, it was kind of shitty. I don't know. What do you think about how they introduced everybody and opened it up? They did change. Apparently, they were all supposed to start in the lobby, and they ended up switching it up.
They should have all started in the same place and then you had like some kind of a